Welcome back, deep divers. You ready to dive back in?
Always.
This is our third deep dive already. Can't believe it.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Right. And today we're going to have some fun with the Stoics.
The Stoics.
Yep. We're traveling back in time to ancient Greece and Rome, going way back.
Sounds like a trip.
It is. And you know what? We're taking all of you with us.
Oh, this is going to be good. What ancient secrets are we uncovering today?
We're going to uncover how this ancient philosophy, Stoicism, can help you.
You got that right. The entrepreneurs, the small business owners, all of you.
Exactly. We're talking about navigating the crazy world of modern business.
It's a jungle out there.
Isn't it? And the Stoics. They've got some wisdom that can help us survive and thrive.
It's incredible, actually. These principles they developed centuries ago. They still hold up today.
I know, right? It's like they knew what was coming.
In this fast-paced, ever-evolving business landscape, it's mind-blowing.
It's like we found this treasure chest full of battle-tested strategies, not just for surviving, but thriving.
That's a great way to put it. So where do we start with this treasure chest?
Well, let's unpack it. I mean, when we think of Stoics, we think of guys in togas debating life's big questions,
Yeah, like what's the meaning of it all?
Exactly. Deep stuff. But how does any of that translate to, like, launching a startup?
Right.
Or managing a team?
Right now in the 21st century.
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, here's the thing. Stoicism. It's not some dusty, abstract philosophy.
Okay, good to know.
It's actually a practical system for living. It's about living a good life.
A good life.
A life of purpose, a life of fulfillment. And guess what?
What?
Those principles apply to everything, including the work you do every single day.
Oh, I like where this is going. So it's not just for philosophers, huh?
Not at all.
So give us an example. What's one big takeaway from Stoicism that, like, entrepreneurs and small business owners can really use?
Okay, so the Stoics, they were all about clarity. And one of their big things was this idea of perception, action, will.
Okay, perception, action, will. Go on.
So they believed in seeing things clearly.
That's perception.
Right. Then acting for the greater good, that's your action.
Makes sense.
And then finally having gratitude for whatever comes your way.
Okay, and that's the will part.
Exactly. They called it their recipe for a good life.
A recipe for a good life.
I like that. So how do we take this recipe and actually use it in our businesses?
Yeah, how do we do that?
Just imagine applying this to your business. What if you made decisions from a place of absolute clarity?
Okay, I'm with you.
Acted with integrity, always, and fostered a culture of appreciation in your team.
That sounds amazing.
Right. That's perception, action, will in action.
Wow. Okay, I see where you're going with this. It's like, it's about making choices on purpose.
Yes.
And approaching, like, challenges with clear eyes, but also with a grateful heart. I love it.
It's powerful stuff.
It is. So what other Stoic wisdom can help us entrepreneurs, stay ahead of the game?
Well, let me tell you, they were big, and I mean big, on self-mastery.
Self-mastery, like not checking your phone every 5 seconds?
That's a great modern-day example for sure.
Right.
But the Stoics, they were thinking bigger picture.
Okay, bigger picture. So, like, what?
Imagine this. Okay. You wouldn't just let anyone walk into your business and start making decisions, right?
Oh, heck no.
Exactly. So why on earth would you let your impulses call the shots?
That's a good point.
Right. So whether it's chasing the latest trends without really thinking them through, or reacting emotionally when the market takes a dip.
Oh, I've been there.
The Stoics, they'd urge us to just hit pause, think rationally, and then, and only then, choose how you'll move forward.
Wow. So it's like being the CEO of your own mind?
Yes.
And of your business?
Exactly.
Don't let those knee-jerk reactions make decisions for you. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got clarity, we've got self-control. What else? What else is in this Stoic toolkit for success?
All right, this one might surprise you.
Oh, hit me.
The Stoics, they were not afraid to change their minds.
Wait, really?
Yeah. They understood that clinging to outdated beliefs or strategies, even ones you loved once, it's a recipe for disaster.
Wow. Okay, so it's not about being stubborn.
No.
It's more about being, like, adaptable.
Exactly. Think of it this way. The ability to adapt, to pivot, to learn from your mistakes. That's like a superpower, especially in the crazy world of business.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And there's this great quote from Seneca, one of the most famous Stoics. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable.
Whoa.
In other words, Without a clear direction and the willingness to adapt, you're just drifting.
And that's the opposite of what we want as entrepreneurs. We got to be able to adjust our sails when we need to. Okay, so we're talking about being flexible, being willing to shift gears when things aren't working.
Hmm.
What other Stoic gems should our listeners know about?
This one's a bit of a reality check, but the Stoics believed that nothing, and I mean nothing, hinders growth like self-deception.
Oof.
It's easy to believe your own hype sometimes, right?
Ouch. That one hit a little close to home, especially in the entrepreneurial world where it's just so easy to get caught up in the excitement and maybe overestimate things a bit.
Exactly. And on the other hand, it's just as easy to make excuses for our shortcomings instead of owning them.
So the Stoics would say, what, fess up?
The Stoics would tell us to be brutally honest with ourselves, above all, about our strengths, but also about our weaknesses.
Be brutally honest.
Okay.
Not always easy.
No, that's a tough one, but makes sense. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge, right? So how do entrepreneurs do that? How can we apply that brutal honesty?
What starts with self-awareness?
Mm.
You got to carve out time for reflection, maybe journaling, maybe meditation. I don't know, whatever works for you.
Mm.
But you got to make space to examine your wins and your losses and do it without judgment. Just look at the facts. What went well?
Yeah.
Where did you fall short?
So it's like we're holding up a mirror to our business practices. Are there any specific questions that entrepreneurs can ask themselves during these little reflection moments? Oh, absolutely. The Stoics, they were all about asking the tough questions. Like ask yourself, am I really being honest with myself about, the state of my business? Am I making excuses for problems that I could actually be solving?
Well, those are good ones.
Right. Am I surrounding myself with people who, challenge me to be better? Or am I just surrounding myself with people who tell me what I want to hear?
Oof, those are tough questions. But it's true, though, asking them and really answering honestly, that's where the growth is.
It's like that quote, I think it's Epictetus. He said, "We must discover the truth at any cost."
At any cost.
And sometimes that truth, it's not pretty, but facing it head on, that's the Stoic way.
That takes courage, to be honest, even when it's hard.
Yeah.
Man, this has been so eye-opening. It's really amazing how, a philosophy that's centuries old can be so relevant to the stuff that, modern entrepreneurs are dealing with.
It really speaks to how universal the human experience is. The Stoics back then, they were dealing with a lot of the same things that we are, the uncertainty, the pressure, the competition.
They just did it all in togas.
Exactly. But the cool thing is they figured out ways to not just cope, but to really thrive in the middle of all that.
So let's get back to that Stoic toolkit for success. We talked about clarity, self-control, being flexible, self-awareness. What else can we learn from these ancient philosophers that can, help us navigate the ups and downs of running a business?
Well, the Stoics were really all about focusing on what you can control, right? So they took that a step further with this practice called negative visualization.
Negative visualization. Wait, that sounds kind of, negative. Why would we want to, focus on the bad stuff?
Okay, so it's not about being pessimistic at all. It's more about being prepared. Imagine this. You're mentally prepared for if and when the tough times hit. You've already visualized those challenges, and you've even thought through how you'd respond.
So it's kind of like a mental fire drill. You're not hoping for bad things to happen, but you're ready to handle them if they do.
Exactly. You got it. By mentally rehearsing those challenging situations in advance, you actually reduce their power to totally overwhelm you when they actually happen. Because let's be real, they will happen. The Stoics understood that setbacks, they're inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
Wow. That's a really interesting way to reframe those inevitable challenges that, let's face it, we face as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Instead of dreading them or living in fear of them, we can prepare for them, almost like we're getting ready for a big presentation or a product launch.
Exactly. Exactly. It's about approaching those challenges with a calm mind and a plan, not with, fear and panic.
It seems like so much of Stoicism is about mastering our minds, our thoughts, our emotions, all of it.
You got it. The Stoics believed that our thoughts, they have incredible power. And they figured out that by controlling our thoughts, we could control our emotions and ultimately how we react to whatever life, throws our way.
Which is huge, especially for entrepreneurs who are constantly bombarded with decisions and deadlines and unexpected obstacles. It's like nonstop.
Yeah. You got to find that inner calm amidst all the chaos.
I love that. It's like having a superpower, something that helps you stay grounded and focused and resilient no matter what's happening around you.
And the best part, it's a skill, just like any other. You can develop it with practice.
We've talked about some really powerful Stoic principles today. Clarity, self-control, flexibility, self-awareness, negative visualization. Is there anything else we can add to our Stoic toolkit before we wrap up?
One of the most important things the Stoics, they really emphasized was finding joy in the journey,
Oh, I like that.
not just like chasing the destination.
That is so important, especially for entrepreneurs. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and just forget to appreciate how far you've come
It's true.
and to celebrate, those small wins along the way. It happens.
Exactly. And that's where the Stoic practice of gratitude comes in.
Gratitude.
They really believed in actively cultivating this sense of appreciation for all the good stuff, even the little things.
Okay, so how do we actually incorporate that into our routines? Because it's easy to say be more grateful, but as an entrepreneur, I know I'm busy, everyone's busy.
Yeah.
How do we actually make that happen?
It can be so simple.
Okay, good.
Just take a few minutes each day, maybe at the start of your day, maybe at the end, to reflect on what you're grateful for.
Okay.
Maybe it's your health, maybe it's your family, could be your team, or even just like a beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
Just the key is to make it a practice, make it intentional.
Okay, so it's not about some big grand gesture or anything. It can be small,
Yeah.
simple,
Exactly.
but intentional. I like it.
Yeah.
It's about shifting your perspective,
Yes.
focusing on the positive, even when everything around you feels crazy.
100%. And that actually ties into another really important Stoic principle, remembering that everything is temporary.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. It's about not getting too attached to the good times
Yeah.
or too down on yourself when, you're in it, because it's all fleeting.
Yes, exactly. The Stoics, they reminded themselves constantly that nothing lasts forever. The good, the bad, even, our businesses.
Wow. That is a powerful perspective shift. It's it takes the pressure off in a way, doesn't it?
It does, because when we remember that everything changes, that it's all transient, it helps us appreciate right now, this moment, so much more. And it also helps us, really savor our successes when they come,
Yeah.
but also face our failures with a sense of, perspective.
Man, this has been eye-opening. I love this deep dive into the Stoics. We've covered so much. We talked about clarity. We talked about self-control, being flexible, self-awareness, negative visualization, gratitude, and even the impermanence of things. It's a lot.
It's a lot of good stuff.
It is. So if our listeners only take away one thing, one essential piece of Stoic wisdom that they can use today, what would it be?
If you forget everything else, remember this. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Epictetus said that, and I think it's the perfect little summary of the Stoic approach to life.
And to entrepreneurship.
And to entrepreneurship. There you go.
That is a powerful quote. Focus on what you can control, let go of the rest. So simple, but not always easy to do. As our listeners head back out into the world ready to conquer their businesses, conquer their days, let's keep that Stoic wisdom close. Until next time, deep divers, keep exploring, keep learning, and as always, keep diving deep.